That scale is Tiller's work really fall into, because mind you, was he a charlatan or was he the truth? All right, test it. Don't take my word for it. You've got to start really testing information. Test CNN, test Fox, test the newspapers. I do it. I really do. And I've stopped subscribing to almost everything.
We do.
It cleaned up my life.
Because I'm a dowser. We make partners, and so when something big comes up, we ask them blind testing, what their answer is. So we double check it, but it's so true. You can check all of this.
Yeah, I'm absolutely
too,
You feel it. And not only that, when I first learned of this concept of getting to the truth, to get to the integrity of something, in my world, you do multiple lab tests and imaging, but we still don't get the answer. I mean, this is really true. And you're sort of debating. And then I realized with Hawkins' work, if you are sensitive enough and ask the right question, you'll be given the next direction. All right. So this is a wonderful book, because on the Hawkins scale, 400s on the Hawkins scale is the world of the intellect. This is where we decipher, analyze, do statistical analysis and that kind of thing, and arrive to a conclusion. But it is limited. It is linear knowledge. Tiller is way into the heart. He's gone over the 400s into the 500s, and very few scientists do that. David Bohm, Carl Jung are the others, by the way. So Tiller has really gone into the heart area, but he still talks like a physicist. That's the issue we have, right? And so this is why Bridging Science and Spirit was written, to make his work accessible to not just ordinary people. We're not all ordinary. We're all extraordinary. We have extraordinary minds. So we're just saying, remind us of our gifts. And Tiller does that in a science way. So I do encourage this book. And, Tiller, this is his philosophy. If you have discovered something, then it is your responsibility to humankind to make it accessible, draw a bridge from this knowledge to spirit. Ultimately, our home is spirit. Ultimately, my friends, our home is spirit. Okay? We can have this limited experience in our brief time on planet Earth. We're having it right now together. We're having a satsang together. We're sharing together. Ultimately, it's spirit, and we have to go there. Ultimately, you can have all the distractions you want. So Tiller's was really, let's use science to build the bridge of knowledge and data. It's supported by good experimental data all the way to spirit. And so Tiller's work gives meaning to that ancient tradition that human consciousness, our spiritual selves, are magnificent. Jesus has said, we are made in the image of God, all right? And we really are, because consciousness is Father. Consciousness is giving birth. Consciousness is our spiritual self. But we have work to do. We have to refine it. So when I was at Mayo Clinic, as a physician, I was so into the science of medicine and all of this, and it served really well up to a point. I felt a gap. I couldn't ignore it. There was this other spiritual side which was so missing. And I did integrative medical training, so it really expanded my toolbox into lifestyle, into nutrition and botanicals. We're into chemistry still. I think we have a lot more to do, and that's where Tiller comes in, because he really showed me that the gaps can be filled, and they can be filled not with woo-woo, but with real science. Mm-hmm. So I left Mayo and I joined Dr. Tiller in Arizona, and I used to meet with him every Thursday, and we would have tea from 9 to 11 a.m. He was very punctual, would come in, I would have tea ready, a little snack, and we would start our sessions. I recorded these on flip camera, so I have hours and hours and hours of video that, you know, barely scratched. I mean, it was remarkable. We would discuss everything from thermodynamics, coherence, entropy, medicine, Amazon best-selling books, to what's the, you know, spiritual practices. And we had a very free exchange. And that was really a gift, because he wasn't superior to me. We were absolutely together exploring something quite unique. And I won't forget that. It was really quite magnificent for somebody of his stature, to say, welcome, I'm going to teach you, but you better have the integrity also. Mm-hmm. So there we were. Thursdays with Tiller is what I used to call this. This is a cover of my book. So, you know, Tiller is asking really this magnificent question. How do you get a connection between human consciousness and its effect in a measurable way? You want to see it, because it's one thing to say, well, hold good intention, hold positive thoughts, hold affirmations. I'm not talking about all those things. I'm talking about a real mathematical connection that can be tested and reproduced. Now that is science. Mm-hmm. That is now worthy of attention. So I'm not going into quantum mechanics, because that is a very good science, but it's quantum theory. It's not complete in its current stage yet. And we've talked about but there has been this notion about observer effects and how things change when the instruments are brought in to the double slit experiments. There are many, interpretations, and it has been looked at and puzzled over many times. But Tiller says, let's leave that. It's fine. What we need to do is actually measure this in a lab. Mm-hmm. Quantum mechanics isn't about big